Morning, it's Monday 28th of January, trying to stick to my new pledge of doing these more regular but maybe shorter videos. This is a Focus RS. I previously coated this with Crystal Serum Pro, not Ultra, it was before the Crystal Serum Ultra. So Crystal Serum Pro and XOV3 it would have been, then it had a top up. It's been back to the dealership a few times. I don't know if you know, these cars had head gasket issues, so there was a lot of them recalled, or all of them recalled. And while I've been doing some work around the nose cone, there's a few scratches on it. So the owners just asked me to repolish those areas and then recoat them with the Gtechniq. So they're fairly minor, but seeing as the car was only recently topped up, it seems a shame to have these marks in it. So I'm hoping they'll come out. Plastic's a little bit trickier to work with. You have to reduce the polishing speed just so you don't put as much heat into the panel. There's a few marks just down here under the light as well. There you go. So just wants these polishing out so that the front end's as nice as the rest of the car.
I just did a big long piece to camera and realised that it wasn't recording, and the dehumidifier was on behind it making a lot of noise, so if it had been recording, all you would have heard was a from the dehumidifier. Right, so that bumper section's all polished. There's one piece that it hasn't come out, but because it's plastic I'm not going to chase it and get it overly hot. This is the Gtechniq 7010 panel wipe that I do after I've polished anything, so it gets the oils and silicons, if there is any silicons in the polish. A lot of the polishes I use are Body Shop safe, silicon free, but this just gets everything out so that A, you can see that you've actually got a true correction and there's no oils or glazes that are filling any remaining little marks or swells, and B, it gets it ready for the Gtechniq or whatever coating you're using, because if you're just going to put those quartz coatings over the top of glazes or oils from the polish, they're not going to bond to the paint properly. So once it's wiped down and the panel wipe is flashed off, which it's still doing, but then you recheck again with your light and you can then see if there's any areas that you need to go back over again with the polisher. If it all looks good, then the next step is on with the Gtechniq. Right, so even though I said the rest of the car had Crystal Serum Pro applied to it probably over a year ago now, all I've got at the moment is Serum Ultra. They don't make the old Serum. It was just called Crystal Serum. I called it Pro because it said professional down the side. But this is Crystal Serum Ultra, so it's a slightly harder setting product. And because I've only got this really small section to apply the product to, normally I use the plastic pipettes which pick up a bit more product, and then the blue suede applicator towels. But because it's just such a small section, I'm going to use the Gtechniq applicator just to go over down there where it was polished as well, so that after polishing it's got the same amount of protection on it. I mean, that polishing that I did to it probably wouldn't have been enough to have taken all of the base coat off, but it definitely would have diminished it quite a lot. So just to make sure it's got the most protection possible back onto it, just re-go over it with the Crystal Serum Ultra. These are the MF6 product removal towels. And although this is Serum Ultra, which you can't get hold of, it's the same process for Serum Light. So once you've polished the car, be it by hand or with machine, wipe it down with the panel wipe, either Gtechniq PW or Gtechniq 7010, which I prefer, and then apply your base coat. So remove the worst with one towel and then get a second towel for the kind of final buff over to make sure that everything is removed. And then best to just check your work with the light, which I've left at the back of the room for now. And if you want to know more on the Serum Light application process, there is a video I did a while ago. I will link that somewhere on the screen now.
Right, so that's the Serum Ultra on the top part of the bumper. I've then been round and just cleaned the wheels up, applied dressing to the tyres, polished the tailpipes, because even though this isn't in for a top-up, I like to give all the cars back looking as if they're as clean as possible. And while the Serum Ultra sets, I just want to leave that for an hour or so before I put the EXO on. I'm going to go around and just give the car a bit of a maintenance spray top-up. So there's a couple of sprays from Gtechniq. There's the quick detailer spray that I'd say you can probably use after every wash. So once the car's washed, dry the car down, apply the quick detailer to a cloth, wipe it over the panel, and then use a fresh cloth to buff it off. Same process for the Gtechniq C2. So this is another top-up maintenance spray, but it's a bit stronger. I'd say you probably don't need to use it after every wash. The quick detailer is good for that. This one maybe once a month, once every 2 months, depending on your usage of the car and how well you feel the sealant is still beading off. This one lives outside, it gets quite a lot of use, so the beading has gone a little bit flat. So I'm going to go around the car with the C2 just to kind of bring that back, give it a nice shine, so when the customer comes and gets it, it looks like it's all been refreshed. Obviously, like I said, do this once the car's washed and dried. If it's a windy day in the summer and there's a bit of dust around, I'd be very careful because you can end up then moving that dust around and introducing more swirls. I've got the benefit of a nice indoor room here, so like I said, spray onto one cloth, wipe it on, buff it off with another cloth.
I just failed to see the difference. Find a boy, find a girl. I just failed to see the difference.
And while I'm talking about quick maintenance, because car cleaning doesn't need to be long, you don't need to spend hours and hours out there washing your car each time. Obviously you want to do it carefully, but once you've got the correct products and equipment, then it's not the longest process in the world. And what I tend to use is a regular cleaner on the windows. Can't even see my head, that's the problem with being so tall. Try and get the car and me in it. What I use regularly on the windows is this Rain-X 2-in-1, so it's a cleaner and it adds a little bit of protection again just to kind of help that rain sheet off. So I'm not going to bore you, it's a simple glass cleaner, squirt it on the cloth and buff it in, but it's a nice one, it doesn't smear too much, and then like I say, once it's dried down and you get this out in the rain, it's even if you never had any protection on your window in the first place, which this did, this had the G1 on it from new, but it's always nice just to help top that up and give it a little something extra. But if you've never had any protection on even using this on its own as a regular product, it still helps the rain sheet off very nicely. So then just flip to the dry side, and the usual, go around and check it and then get your light out if needed. I'll go around the whole car with the light at the end. But just another little maintenance tip there for you. Right, it's about just gone 2 o'clock. I've finished the Focus. I put the EXO on the bumper, didn't show that bit, you've seen it before. Very similar application to the Serum Ultra. Rest of the car was wiped over with C2 just to give it a bit of a freshen up so that when I hand it back to the customer it's looking as good as it can possibly look. As I said, C2, great product for those kind of in-between main top-up maintenance bits. I'm going to do a few more videos on maintenance because, like I said, there's no reason that keeping the car in top condition needs to take a long time, especially when it's got these coatings on from the start, which is what they're designed for, that then you can just give it a wash, wipe down, and it stays looking good for a long time. As you'll see, this was filthy when it came in, so it's nice that I can hand it back in this much better condition. Paint's actually in really good condition for 24,000 miles. I think this is done on a 66 plate. So like I say, it was first given a new car detail when it was new, and then it's had one top up since, and then this is just a little interim clean. So I'll show you around the paint very quickly, so you can see what good condition it's in, but that's the benefit of having these sealants on from the start of the car's life. Next up, I've got a GT4 outside that I've washed. I would have shown you the wash process, but it's freezing outside today, so I was out there with gloves and marigolds trying to desperately keep warm. I will show more, or I'll show some, I haven't shown any yet. I'll make some wash process videos later on in the year when it's warmer, and again show you kind of little tips that I think should help your wash regime.
A chunk of me, a brain, a heart. I just failed to see the difference. Find a boy, find a girl. I just failed to see the difference.
Right, it's about 7:30 and the Cayman GT4 is all finished. So this is in for PPF from tomorrow, but today I have washed it all down, given it a good blast inside the arches, taken all the bits out from inside the bonnet, taken the lights out, taken the side repeaters out, so it's all ready for PPF. And then I have clayed and polished it to make sure that the paint is ready for PPF. Now, I know in the last video I showed you how the film covers the swells, so there's no need for polishing. That's still correct. If it's a new car, if there's definitely no sealant on it, which we knew for that car because the customer had owned it from new and he'd never had it polished or never had any sealant put onto it. I don't think he'd even waxed it. So the water was just sitting completely flat on the panel, no hydrophobic performance at all. On this one, when I washed it, the water was beading off relatively well. Owner has only just bought it, he doesn't know if there's any sealants on it. And as we found out with a Ferrari 360 recently, if it's got sealants on, and we've seen it on other cars as well, but if it's got sealants on, it's one thing, you can polish the main panels and the film then will eventually go down okay. It still reacts weirdly and kind of moves all over the place even when you tack it. But the edges, it just wouldn't go into the light apertures underneath the bonnet, the bits that we try and extend and wrap where other companies might just use a template that just sits on the main bulk of the panel, and that's okay for 80% of people out there. We like to try and make it as seamless as possible, so that's why we take the lights out, we wrap into there. We tend to then wrap into the bits between the wing and the door, obviously between the wing and the bonnet. So those bits need all cleaning up, edges need polishing as well, carefully so you don't go through an edge. So that's why on this car I have done some polishing. I haven't done it to the point where I'd be happy to show someone and say, hey look, I've corrected this panel, because there are still some marks on it, but that wasn't really the aim of this, this particular little task. It was just making sure that it was clean, free of any sealants so that the PPF will stick to it, get the edges polished and cleaned up so then the film will wrap down and tack and stick nicely to those edges. So that's all done. I am off home now. I'll try and upload this over the next couple of days. I'm going to ask Jules if he can take some footage of the PPF fitment. Fingers crossed he remembers. And then I'm back on this maybe Friday, if not Monday, and I'll show you the rest of the job. The red little Fiesta that I showed you in the last video as well, that needs to come back in and get the coatings put back onto it. So a few cars just moving around at the moment. The grey Focus from earlier has gone. I'm very happy with it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you like these shorter, more basic videos. Thanks for all the thumbs up and the comments in the last video. Great to see that people are watching it. Apparently you need to, I've got 10,000 subscribers, but the video doesn't get pushed to all of them. So if you're a subscriber, there's a little bell thing next to the subscribe tab. Tap that and it will notify you when I upload a video. Obviously if you don't want to watch the video, then unsubscribe or don't tick the bell. But yeah, share it, look at us on Instagram, we're on Facebook, although that tends to be a copy of Instagram. So mainly Instagram and YouTube, they're the ones that I'll try and talk back to you. And let me know if there's anything in particular that you want to see in future videos as well. Alright, thanks, bye.
Find a man, fall in love. I just fail to see the difference.